Okay, my experience here at Transam, like I said, I've been here for 2 weeks now, but I've been driving for them for a week now, a little over a week. Started driving last Friday, and today is Saturday. Okay, so I'm from Detroit, Michigan, man. Excuse me, I ain't got no phone out yet. So I'm from Detroit, Michigan, man, and I decided to be a truck driver. I wanted to be a truck driver. This is just something I kind of always wanted to do, be a truck driver. Plus, I always heard that they get that paper, so I jumped on it. Papers and money, for everybody not from Detroit. We got a different type of time for everything. You know how we do. So, Pete. All right, so like I said, I've been wanting to be a truck driver for forever, man, and I finally made it happen. I did 8.5 years in prison for drugs and guns, young nigga shit. For guns and drugs and shit. Went in when I was 23, came home when I was 32. So when I came home, I was trying to get my license together. I was trying to get my life together. I was trying to figure it out. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew I had to get to it. I knew I had to do something. So, as soon as I came home, one of the first things I did was try to get my license. Now, before I left, when I was younger, I was a young dude, young nigga, and I used to, I had a license back when I was younger. I left when I was 23 years old. And when I left, my license was fucked up. I didn't care about paying no tickets or nothing. I didn't care about none of that. So when I left, my license was suspended, and I owe like 6 racks. I owe like 6 racks to clear that. But luckily, while I was locked up, I was doing plea-by mails, and they evened me out. So when I came home, I was 32 years old, and I was, like I say, trying to get my license back. Now, it did still cost me a couple dollars to get that license back. And I got the license back, and I'm excited. I'm so excited. Just came home, got my license. Hell yeah, now I'm about to start my future. Now I'm about to start my shit. Start my life. It's one step closer to starting my life. So I ended up getting my license, and I tried to get my CDL license. I'm like, shit, I got my license now. Shit, maybe I could drive trucks. I always wanted to drive trucks. They was like, yeah, we ain't fucking with you. Secretary of State, so many words. They like, we ain't fucking with you. It was like, because your license was so fucked up before you left, you gotta wait 3 years to get your license, your CDL license. That was fucked up for real, because in my mind, the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, so y'all trust me enough to drive out here with the regular population, with regular cars. Y'all trust me to drive on the road. I got my regular license. Y'all trust me on the road. But y'all, because I fucked up when I was younger, y'all do not trust me to drive a semi-truck. Y'all don't trust me to get money for a living. Y'all don't trust that. So I felt the way about that. But, hey, what can you do? I waited 3 years. 3 years later, I'm trying to get my CDLs. I'm trying. But guess what? It wasn't no school that I can attend for free, basically. It wasn't no school I could attend that was for free. So I was trying to go through the government, get that free government funding, y'all know. I'm trying to get that free paper. I'm trying to get the government to pay for my shit. And they like, shit, they out of funds right now. We out of funds right now. You got to wait. So in between times, I'm wondering, like, shit, what the fuck am I supposed to do then? I was so determined to get this CDL license. I was so determined. This is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. I was so determined to get that CDL license that even though no school would allow me to come without paying, I studied myself. I downloaded an app. It's a CDL test app. I just remember it being a green logo. I always tell people that's the one to download whenever you're interested in if this is what you really want to do. I downloaded that green one, and I studied. I really like studied on my own. Like, I remember it was winter time, and I'm really at home. I used to go out a lot. I used to be out. I'm out there. I just came home. I'm out. I've been out since I'm living life. I'm out here. Then it was time for me to, after being burnt out on the streets, being burnt out of just blowing, wasting money, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, this shit ain't, I gotta get my life together. I gotta get my shit together, for real, for real. So now I downloaded the app and I got to it. I got to studying. I mean, really studying, like, bought me notebooks, pens. I'm at the crib studying, and how I study, I don't know how nobody else study, but how I study is writing it repetitively. Keep on writing the same thing. Writing it. Because as I'm writing it, I'm learning myself. It's being instilled in my head. So as I'm writing, properly monitored and secure, I'm learning it at the same time, and this is how I study. I study by continuing to write the same thing. So, study my ass off, and I started going to the Secretary of State every day. Now, what it is the test at Secretary of State is free to take, but when you pass that bitch, you gotta pay. I ain't worried about the pay. I could pay that, but I'm studying, and I went up there for weeks. I went up there so much to the Secretary of State that when I got there, all the ladies already knew who I was. They was like, hey, Mr. Hill, you here to try it again? You here to go again? You gonna get it today? Well, yeah, I'm gonna get it today. I love that they was just motivating too. They was happy to see me every day. They was rooting for me. They seen how determined and persistent I was. So I finally passed. Oh yeah, it was times where I was one question off, 2 questions off, and I go home mad. I go home, study my ass off. I'm mad at myself. I can't believe I missed it by 1. I can't believe I missed it by 2. Study my ass off until I passed it on my own. So guess what? Now I got my permit, my CDL permit on my own. No school, no teacher, nobody. Got that on my own. I'm proud of that, So, a training school finally reached out to me. It was like, guess what? They got funding. They got funding for people if they wanted to take classes that the government would pay the whole thing. I get into school, Detroit Training Center. Shout out to them boys at Detroit Training Center. Real cool trainers there. One of the trainers ended up being one of my homeboys, my boy E. So now guess what? So my first day of school, I go to school, I got my notebooks, I'm ready. I don't even know what I got my notebook for. When I know I shouldn't, it's time. I already did the study part. So it's time for me to hit that yard. So soon my first day of school, I tell them, they pull out the pen and paper and they study and they ready to study. I said, listen, man, I got my permit already. I know this. He was like, you got your permit? Let me see. I showed them the permit. They're like, all right, tomorrow I'll go out on the yard. I'm like, bet. I go out on the yard. Now it's the real deal Holyfield. I go out on the yard, and all you see out here is trucks doing maneuvers. Over there you see them offsetting. Over there you see them doing a 90. Over there you see them doing straight back. And I'm just amazed and excited at the same time, but nervous at the same time. So my very first time getting in the truck, they're like, all right, it's you. You up? I get in line, I get in the truck, and it's a stick shift. And I get in that bitch, and I tell him, I said, bro, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, show me. He showed me, and I was so nervous. I'm behind an 18-wheeler for the first time in my life. I studied it, but I ain't never been behind the wheel, ever. So I got behind that wheel, man, and I was so motherfucking nervous, my legs started shaking. I swear my legs started shaking. The nigga that I was training with was a nigga just like me. That nigga was like, damn, nigga, you scared? Nigga, what's up? Shaky leg? And that nigga started calling me shaky leg ever since then. Like, hey, I ain't give a fuck. I was shaky leg for real. I was a real shaky leg, scared to death for real. So that was doing that was a stick shift, but because I was in Detroit training, which was a free program for me and others, it was slapping. It was so many people in the class, like 30, 40 people out there in the yard. So in a whole day, I would probably only get 2 times to even try any maneuvers, which I felt was not good. I felt like that wasn't good because it wasn't really training me. I'm only in the truck 2 times a day. So when I told them I wanted to switch to automatic, that's when I'm in the truck every day. Because guess what? The automatic's over there. When nobody asking about it, everybody wanted to learn the manual, because that's what the schools be teaching you. The schools be teaching you. You want to learn the manual just in case you be stuck somewhere and you don't have a truck and they shut the fuck up. You ain't got to learn no motherfucking manual. I'm telling you right now, fuck that manual. There's no point in learning a manual in 2024. I swear. There's not one job that has a manual in 2024. If they do have a manual, that's because they hauling some other kind of shit. They hauling some shit so strong that an automatic can't hold it. Excuse me. So yeah, that's one of my first biggest pieces of advice for you. Fuck that manual. I got a manual restriction on my license. Fuck that manual. I got my shit without it. And guess what? I got an automatic. I drive automatic trucks. No company is putting you in a manual truck. All right, boom. Let's fast forward.